Hello, everyone. Welcome out to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number
20! That's a double X.
And 30, we'll be having to upload it to X-Hamster. My name's AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Well, Steve, what are we about to be drinking?
Excelsior! Too soon?
Is that who we're brought? That's who we're brought to today by. God, that's what we usually do. I forgot the order of it. I'm not starting it over now. I am not going to start it over.
We're brought to you today by Jaguar Imperial Stout by Nantahala Brewing Company of Bryson City, North Carolina.
Where were we this past weekend?
Bryson City, North Carolina.
Yes. So let's pop this. Like, we're going to pop it on mic. That was underwhelming. Oh, I got it. It hit my toe.
And my keys are drinking that beer, too.
Well, I want your...
Let's see if I can mess this one up, too.
Nah, I think... You're doing fine, man. You're doing fine. Do a fine job, boss man. I used to have I worked for a guy that would say that, you do a fine job, boss man. Run that sketty float. That what? You're a 45-year-old man. Run that what?
Pardon?
Sketty instead of spaghetti. He said
Goodness.
sketty. So we're about to be drinking a little Nantahala brew. So, Esteban, that was much more satisfying.
Second glasses.
Oh, man. That's as good as I remember.
Ooh.
Have you had that one before?
Negative.
What?
I never heard of that one before.
You have had it before. It was under a different name. Do you remember the first Trail Magic we went to? Not in the events, but going to it. That was the release. It was the Russian Imperial Stout, and now they have a name for it.
So it takes them 20-something of these to finally recycle the beers?
Well, what they did was they made it a regular beer. Everybody liked it so much that it's no longer... All right, so for those of not in the know, Nantahala does something called a Trail Magic release 3 times a year. Yep, and it's always something different.
It's March, July, and November.
Yeah, and we went up there. We might have told the story.
A couple of times we've done that.
Yeah, and it's been pretty fun every time. The only regret I have is the first time we went, and Justin, whatever his name, went with us. He put a big dent in my fucking Jeep. It was a dentless vehicle, and the door panels are skinny, man. Like, if you don't shut the door on the first time, don't put your hip into it. And don't dip. You dip, we dip. Because I may or may not have tried.
Current without Jeep's vintage.
I may or may not have heated that dent up with a hairdryer, and they got a suction cup dildo and tried to pull it out, because that was the only suction cup I had, because I didn't want to put plunger. I didn't want to put shit, on the side of it. So it pulled it out a little bit.
Things you could do with what you could find at the stores next door to Saucer, huh?
Or purchase them and bring them home for... Never mind. 10%.
Practice.
10% from Bryson City. This says River Club release. I'm not buying it. I've never heard of that before. Steve, you want to read about this beer since you're really good at that?
As soon as my eyes are working, sure. The wilderness is filled with the legends of strange creatures hiding behind every mighty oak, lurking in the depths of the river, and residing high atop the peaks of the Smokies. Judicula is among them. A mighty beast shrouded in mystery, an ode to the king of the wilderness. Judicula Imperial Stout is brewed to be big, bold, and full of traditional flavors, then aged in American oak and blended to taste, giving it character unique to rich cultures who have long called these mountains home. Discover more at NantahalaBrewing.com.
Yes, 10%, 47 IBUs, 12 ounces, Independent Craft Brewers Association. It's really good. It's as good as it's always been. I think Trail Magic 1 was this, and then the revamped version was 5, and then when we went for number 10 is when. But it's now a regular staple item, unlike, hopefully, the couple other ones, like the Strawberry Rhubarb Sour.
They've been very experimental with them.
Yeah. But, Thomas says he doesn't enjoy Nantahala like he used to, and I kind of agree with him, only because it used to be sort of a niche brewery. It was a small-time thing. It was more personal. They've gotten a lot bigger and a lot more expanded, and it's lost its small-town charm a little bit. Because, the people who used to work there, and the people who own the place used to work there inside, brewing the beer, running the bar. So you got to talk to them.
Joe's the guy with the massive beard that's always there, and I haven't seen him the last couple of times.
I haven't...
But I still have yet to make it to the satellite operation. This is 2 times we've been there, and so I haven't been there, man. Whoops.
Well, you know what? I was thinking of planning a trip just for the boys to Asheville, because I have not gotten to really experience Asheville like I want to. So I kind of think about doing like a guy's trip where we do the same thing we did in Bryson, where we pile in a hotel that's like dirt cheap. That's just the place to lay our drunken heads, and then get up and eat some restaurant out of food the next morning.
Sweet.
All right.
After this current Bryson trip, we met my aunt and uncle at Lexington Avenue Brewing, and then went around downtown. I've never felt so broke. Holy shit snacks. There are some expensive shops there.
Yep.
Like, here's a shop that's all rocks. Like, very gorgeous geodes, whatever have you, but fancy rocks cost a lot of money.
They usually do, actually.
Like, here's this 2-foot tall geode. Oh, that'll be $3,000.
A geode prism?
You couldn't get in a wagon, man.
That's what the tractor's for.
Stupid other Corolla.
But,
or this little repurposed vintage shop with, here's this lovely old dresser with half a coat of paint on it for $1,900.
Wow.
I ain't feeling that crafty, but I'm pretty sure if I could fetch that kind of money for doing the same thing.
That's like worse than going to Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
Because at least...
at least I've got some idea of what stuff should cost there, and, why it may cost that. And if it's got a shitty coat of paint on it, that usually decreases the value. See also my current ride.
Isn't that weird, though, but, that if something is all original, it is worth more money, even if it's in worse shape. Like, did you see the video? It was on, I forgot the channel, but it was on YouTube. It was a guy that had a Miura, and he actually like drives it, has the original paint on it, and he just refuses to have it restored because of what it's worth. And every time he drives it, he'll find, every year or so, he'll find a new little dent or a little something. But he's like, you know what? I don't care. It was meant to be driven. I drive it a couple times I think he said he drives it once a month. But I was like, that is so cool though, because that's one of my that's my top 3. I think is Miura. But
which probably means he's got another one at home. That's his museum piece.
It's a really...
They can afford to drive it all the time. They can afford not to worry about it.
Well, paraphrasing without looking it up again, but he was driving...
Talk slow while we'll look it up.
He's rich as hell, obviously. But he noticed... He's been looking for a Miura for years, because I think came from a Countach, and he got rid of that. But he happened to drive by, and he saw a car covered up, but it was halfway covered up, and that looks like a Miura, so he stopped and talked to the guy. It's a really old guy. He's like, I'm not really interested in selling. He's like, if you're ever interested in it, here's my name number. I'd love, I'll buy it. I think years later, the guy had passed away, and his wife was like, look, I'm moving. I don't need this house, and I found your number. Would you, it hasn't started, hasn't ran in years. He hasn't driven it in years. Would you be? And I think before she even got it out of her mouth, he said yes. So he brought it over. I think he had... He either sent the car to Italy, to Lamborghini, or he had somebody come that's pretty big Lamborghini in the know guy. That's the second time I've used in the know, and that's the second time this lifetime I've used it, I think. But must be my word of the day.
He got in touch with Ed Bolin's people.
He had them go through it. He's replace it with new old stock parts if you have them bought, so it would be worth more money. I don't remember what the guy paid, but I think he paid the woman like $800,000 or $900,000 for it, and then he ended up having to pay probably a little, not that much to get it back roadworthy, but it's back in shape and drive it.
Total investment $1 million.
Fascinating. I don't know, that isn't even that much money in the grand scheme of people who are really rich, but I can't fathom that in my mind, dropping that kind of coin on something. Maybe one day when we get rich off of doing this. Nah. Well, speaking of European cars...
I just got a Halpa or a Irako for starters.
It's
something else in even like lower numbers.
To quote James May, it's not a kit car, it's a Lamborghini. Philistine. What is a Philistine?
That who does not know what they should know, sort of thing.
Okay.
They're from Philistia. Philistadelphia.
I didn't like that show when it came on. Philistia.
Stupid dancing baby.
Oh, that was
Ally McBeal.
That was Ally.
Ah, whatever. Stupid Noxzema.
That was really creepy. Now that you like, I used
It
to
was like one of the earliest 3D animated things that's 12 pixels tall. Yeah.
Hey, I know you.
I can stop this feeling.
I know Nintendo's been out for 20 years now, but let's make something with worse graphics on a nationally syndicated program. So, while we're on cars, Steve, you want
sweet blue?
You want to talk about Jaguar and British Leyland? This is going to be funny because I was looking up some things on the interwebs. So, if you don't, you know Jag, but British Leyland was Austin, Land Rover, Leyland, MG, Jag, Mini, Morris, Rover, and Triumph. That was the major brands. I think they had a couple other ones, but those were the major ones that anybody who's even a car person would know.
And as history's shown, the company effectively struck itself to death.
Yes,
as well as just complete garbage build quality. Famously so, with electronics by Lucas, the Prince of Darkness himself. No, not George in 1999.
Did you remember the Top Gear where it had Nobby? Like the guy painted Nobby and drew a dick on it. Evidently, that's on a couple of cars. That was a
Oh, yeah, all those signatures in the trunk.
Yeah. Nobby.
I think they were rivaling 80s GM for build quality and volume.
It might have been worse than that. Jag was...
Yeah, at least you still see some of those old GMs on the road.
True. An American car will run forever. It may not run great, but it will run.
Yeah, the amazing capacity to run badly for a long time. Like, see also following any old Chevy truck. There's a special terrible scent emitted by the exhaust of any old V8.
Yep.
That like if there's a 305 specific emission. That's just a sickly sweet smell.
Mm-hmm.
That just really pings you in the back of the head right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be just short-term migraine.
Yep.
Brought on by this.
You do still see a shocking number of Tahoe Suburbans and Chevy trucks of 80s to, I'd say mid-80s to mid-90s.
Yeah.
What you don't see anymore of is the last-gen Camaro before the new Camaro.
The catfishes.
Yeah.
I actually saw one the other day, like, ooh, that's kind of a rare bird. That would have been a very fast thing back in the day. And it's like, what's that? Like,
absolutely was a fast thing back in the day. The Super Sport, I think, had 320 horsepower in 98.
Faster than the Z28 at the time.
Yep. Yeah, Super Sport was the top of the line. Just like, I think the Firebird Firehawk, which always Firebird looked really good, though. Yeah. That was what I learned. I learned to drive in a V8 Firebird Formula. Not learn to drive. Driver's Ed. My driver's ed car was a Firebird Formula.
So that would have been a V6?
It was a V. This one was a V8.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I was 15 when I took it, so I had to pay for driver's ed.
Beats mine with my 89 Topaz.
Can we just
It marches to a beat of a different tempo.
Can we just say that any car named after a gemstone is probably shit?
Hey, well, for what it's worth, that is my birthstone, too.
Oh.
Well, I'm getting old in 2 weeks.
Oh. Is it on? It's not on Thanksgiving Day, is it this year?
No, this...
What's 25th?
6th.
Yours is 26th.
Like, what number is it?
How did we get on? We got on GM. We're supposed to talk about Jag.
Yeah.
We could have at least got on Ford, because at least they owned Jag for a little while.
Oddly enough, but had a couple of neighbors back in the day that had XJ6s. One still had the original engine, and therefore that gentleman dailied a Miata, and another one had a Jag with a Chevy 305 in it. Same engine. So it all comes full circle. So, Beth always drove... Bounce between the Jaguar, she called it, and an 81 Civic wagon.
Oh, fuck yes.
And, like, a mid-80s Audi 5000, like, right after they figured out the stick accelerator thing. Like, well, her husband was a mechanic, so they can't bounce between some very, one old regular car and two oddballs from Europe.
Her husband's a very busy mechanic.
Yes. Last I saw him, he's currently driving an old Crown Vic at, he said he got it to irresponsible rates of travel out west.
I didn't even, until I watched the Donut Media, Everything You Need to Get Up to Speed on the Crown Vic, I had no idea it was body on frame. I had no idea. No wonder they last forever and they're good cop cars and taxis. And I like the fact that once they're done in their serviceable life at the cops, they go to taxis, and then once they go to taxis, they go to auction, and people still buy them and drive them.
I would have been here sooner, but I was stuck behind the local fire marshal that was driving one.
Was his name Bill?
In no hurry. I'll get back to you on that. Definitely ran a stop sign right after a white Crown Vic. Like, oh, this could be bad. It's like it's wearing a yellow permit tag because that looks more official than the previous silver permit tags for all North Carolina government vehicles. And it has a little fire symbol in the back window. It's like, oh, he's not going to care.
He will probably.
I wish he could drive faster, but whatever.
He will pull you over if you're on fire. Other than that, I think you're good.
So far, so good with this one.
Jag's business was founded as the Swallow Sidecar Company in 1922. Originally making motorcycle sidecars before developing bodies for passenger cars.
Definitely saw one of those in Nashville, a motorcycle with sidecar.
Yes, that's so cool.
That's going to be an exciting way to kill yourself.
I think I always imagine when I see one of those go by that they play the Wicked Witch music. The Swallow Sidecar Company. Under the ownership of SS Cars Limited, the business extended to complete cars made in association with Standard Motor Company, many bearing the original Jaguar as a model name. Interesting. Let's see here. The guys' names, they were two Williams. It was William Lyons and somebody else named William. Founded
Lyons rings a bell.
Yeah.
So I know I've looked this up a long time ago.
Yeah. So evidently, it's a lot older than I originally thought it was. Company's name was changed from SS Cars to Jaguar Cars in 1945. A merger with British Motor Corporation followed in 1966. So that was when they merged with British Leyland, which I can only imagine what a Jag of that vintage would be like to drive, own, or purchase parts for. A Bale Nighter. They can't see you on here. Or can they? Steve, what year, without looking it up, did Ford buy Jag? Or become owner, majority ownership?
89?
90. You were the closest without going over.
Hey! You win a 1990 Jaguar.
Wow. I'll Jaggly.
That was what the XJ12 had, the awful headlights.
Yeah.
I like the way the quad lights on
those
were cool. Like,
what was it?
The dreadful car, but I always liked the way those looked.
The Vandenplas was the square headlights?
I think that was a trim line rather than the design of it, because it was the early mid-90s when they went with the sort of Volvo 740 headlights.
Okay.
And, like, just boxy and like the tail's drooping, and Clarkson nailed everything, pointing out what's wrong with his car. Like, why does the OS end look like it's melting?
But they all love them. That's the thing. They all love those cars. And we still like them, too. Like the quad-eye ones. They're just classy-looking vehicles. Yep. And the bundled-up Jag emblem in the cold. If you're cold, they're cold.
That was adorable.
There was the SS Jaguar, how ironic, 100 open two-seater.
Have you ever seen an old Daimler?
Yeah.
I was like, that looks an awful lot like a Jag.
Yeah, when you get to the older,
like the 1950s models.
Yeah, the really older cars, they all kind of look.
And one of the first ones of those I ever saw was at my mechanic shop in Greensboro. Foreign Accents, not a paid sponsor, but back in the day, like driving by there was a museum of European oddities.
I just would not want to.
And old Citroens.
How,
my first DS I ever saw. Oh.
How many years was Citroen over here? It wasn't. It couldn't have been many.
I would guess early 70s through early 80s.
Okay, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it was. They were the probably shortest lived French marque here.
Okay.
Since Peugeot and Renault were here through
up to 90 for Peugeot.
I think 90. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And Renault had that strange alliance, pun intended, with AMC. But then once Chrysler obtained AMC, the Renaults lived on as Eagles before getting the Axe about the same time.
And Lancia was
Italian.
Oh, that's Italian.
They left the American market in 1980, as did Fiat, due to quality concerns and rust issues, and now Fiat's back. Well, at least they don't rust as much.
Yeah, and there's the Hitler era. I always called those the Hitler Jags because of the grill.
Yeah, somebody put, probably Jalopnik, like, would this $10,000 2003 S-Type R make you a cat lover? And I was trying to phrase it just like Charlie Chaplin's Lincoln LS. Still, no. But trying to like use some sort of movie title of his, like, I've only seen The Great Dictator and The Tramp, and that's been a long time ago.
Have you seen down 74, the right as you're coming into Monroe on the left, there is I forgot the name, Goose Creek Automotive, and it's nothing but 70s and 80s Mercedes. Beautiful.
Are you aware of how terrible 74 is if you're not driving at 3 a.m. on that road?
Yes, because we play every 2 weeks in Monroe, but I do take a bit of a shortcut down Idlewild into Seacrest Shortcut Road. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Ryan.
That's how I returned from the new Lidl out that way.
Yep, and I didn't realize Lidl looks like a giant car wash from the outside.
I was going to say half an airport hangar.
That too.
I went to the one at Concord today to pick up, terrible vegetables. Whoops.
See, you should just come to me for all your vegetable needs.
So, trying to be too disgusted as I ask, how much does half a pound of Baby Bellas cost?
Baby melons?
Baby Bellas.
Baby Bellas. It's only been the package. This week they're 2 for $4 for packages. About
still more. They had it for $1.70. Aldi had them for $1.30. But these were massive babies.
Okay, so they
were Stewie Griffin heads.
The giant baby mushroom. Remember the giant baby from 2000s or 90s? It was like a baby that was born. It was like 14 fucking pounds.
Oh yeah, the thing that was on all the national choirs back in the day.
Yeah, something like that. That's funny. Here was a BLMC share from British Leyland Motor Corporation, and look at what's scribbled on it.
Valueless.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The government was hopeful LMC's expertise, which was Leyland Motor Corporation, would revive the ailing... this is funny. Would revive the British motor holdings and create effectively a British General Motors. That sounds even way worse.
What did I say a moment ago?
Man, we just keep rotating, man. The new corporation was arranged into 7 divisions, and I think we named all of those. And boy, there were some really heinous cars, and then there were some really good-looking cars, like this Triumph GT6 Mark III. That's pretty neat looking. I like the
shrunken Ferrari 250.
Yeah, kind of like the more fun uncle to the 250 instead of the. I don't know where I was going with that. Just bear with me. It was the Austin 1800. That's what Clarkson was driving, and he would open the door, and the door panel stayed in place. That's fantastic. Despite the duplication of production facilities as a result of the merger, there were multiple single points of failure in the company's production network, which meant that a strike in a single plant could stop many of the others.
I wouldn't call them single points of failure then. I think that sounds more like multiple points of failure.
Oh boy, yeah, if you really want some interesting reads, just go to Wiki and just type in British Leyland.
Oh, and of course there was that episode where they had that versus the Dolomite and the Princess.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, the 78 was like the best car that BL brought upon the world.
Yes.
It's more aerodynamic going backwards and forwards.
But they did in 1978 make commercial vehicles under...
Oh, good. So your deliveries can't arrive on time either.
I bring you Coventry Climax forklift truck. The Coventry Climax. Isn't that what we used to do in our old neighborhood? Not together.
Berkshire Hathaway.
My old house is now worth, I looked it up, $50,000 more than I sold it for. Yeah, maybe we should have stayed a little while longer because they've built so many new constructions and property values have risen. But the good news is this one is also, everyone in the area is like just boop. So if you want to buy in Charlotte, buy now. Be the best time to do it. And you could just kind of,
I just don't have any money.
hey man, just go in there with your best firm handshake and a wink, and that handsome smile. I mean, it brought your lady to her knees. It can do wonders for. Ooh, I've always liked the XJS.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of. Not the XJ12, the XJS.
Yeah, the coupe. Yeah,
but yeah, that one's got the cascaded headlights, which are bullshit.
yeah.
Bring me
The quads.
my quad rounds.
Well, that would be like the biggest waste of money. I'm going to get XJS, but I'm going to do a front bumper swap. I mean, it'd be neat, but it'd be a complete waste of money because the thing you want to swap from that is the engine, not the headlight. Well, I don't know. The electronics. Britain's not really known for their electronic prowess.
No.
Yeah, like modern Range Rovers and Land. I always liked the Land Rover Discovery from the 90s.
Funny you mentioned that. Like, oh, hey, Steve talks about valeting again. The cars with the worst, now start-stop buttons with those stupid remote keys are the Land Rovers and Nissans. Somehow both of those brands require the most effort to just mash my thumb into the dashboard to get this fucking button to start or stop the car. Not to mention, the whole remote starter thing is bullshit anyway. This is the answer to the question nobody's asking.
The only good part is
do you have your keynote?
My one of my part timers. He's 70 years old, and he will heat his car. And he can turn the heat on from there. So at least in the wintertime, you can heat the car up and then get in a warm
garage.
That's true. But that'd be the only thing. But you and I will never be able to have a car with a remote start.
Correction. It is still possible. But
yeah,
you have to make sure to park in a neutral.
That, yeah,
and maybe wheel chock it if need be.
That would. I mean,
it's not impossible. It's a convenience that suddenly made inconvenient, but it's still possible.
Oh, Steve, your car is bunny rabbiting away. What should we do about this?
I think the only car I ever had that could do that was the '89 GTI because that didn't have a kill switch in it.
Engage.
That made for some very interesting times, like start the car. Oh, there goes the e-brake.
It's like when you, I think it was on somebody shared it from Opposite Talk or something. It was a Subaru meme. It was like when you dump the clutch at $6,000 and now you have 7 neutrals. I've grenaded 1 transmission in my life, or 2. Never mind, 2. I've grenaded 2 transmissions in my life.
Holy shit!
Second Conquest and the Astro van.
Wow.
Yep. The Conquest transmission was ridiculous. It had plenty of fluid in it, but I was 17, and the transmission only had 40-something thousand miles, 50,000. I mean, granted, it's older balls, but I was in first gear and not even getting on it. Shifted it like 2,500, $3,000. Not even in boost. Went down to second. Try to go to third. Nothing. Fourth. Nothing. I had first and fifth. It's a bit tricky. So
get it to 30, and then there you go. It's like the time the clutch went out in the VR6.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hydraulic clutch somehow wouldn't let me shift until the engine was warm. I could still move the shifter while the engine was off, though. Problem solved. Put in second. Well, this will give me capacity for 0 to 70. I would like that car. I really did.
The Astrovan transmission went out. I had the parking brake on, and I went and shifted into reverse and then hit the gas. Not even hit the gas hard, just reverse speed, and popped it. So then I only had second gear. Eventually, I would have if I keep fucking this up, I'll have enough gears between all the cars to have a full car, right? Is that how that works?
Sadly, no. As much as we love our manual transmissions, they are very complicated mechanisms to work on.
Well, you say that, but it is easier than an automatic. Automatic transmission has a lot of moving parts, and they are much, much heavier. I should know because I had to carry an automatic transmission down to Macon, Georgia in my Conquest, which fit because it's a hatchback. So I just folded the seats down, sat it in there with somebody helping me because I'm not a he-man, and voila, there we go. Or as Emily hates when people say, voila. She's like, it's a V. I'm like, I know.
Are you European?
So we did Three-Car Garage Britain already, but we just kind of wanted to touch on the heinous reliability issues and such of Brit. There were that was
What, it's a Jag.
70s?
You can go run over a whole family of 5. It's like, it's all right, he's in a Jag.
and they driving a Jag. What they say, Jaguar.
Jaguar. Or probably the funniest mispronunciation of it.
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
That's horrible.
I think that was from the Thrilling Adventure Hour, where this lady was pointing out Jungle Cat. It's like, oh, it's a Jaguar. It's like,
no.
Fell out.
Jagwire or Wire. Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Yeah, or no, it's like a Latin pronunciation. Yawar. 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 Guacamole.
Yawar.
Yawar.
What you eat.
Are you all? You're man. You keep drinking faster than me. Maybe because I talk a lot.
Why not both?
Ooh, I'm not a ventriloquist. We need another beer
Just
because
play one on radio.
We have to absolutely start the worst song of the 80s. I'm so looking forward to this.
Before that, what's your favorite Jag?
Well, like I said, we did play Three-Car Garage. Geez, favorite Jag.
Well, you want to touch on Jag, so we've covered the bad side, but why not the good side? Because just look at them.
I like the E-Type, but I don't love the E-Type. I think it's pretty. It's striking. I think it would be a bigger deal if we could rewind and live through when it came out, because it's not as striking now. It's striking compared to other things that came out.
So what you want is the Eagle Roadster thing.
Eagle Speedster was beautiful.
Yeah, like $500,000 pounds. Who cares?
It's $500,000 of anything other than dong from Vietnam is probably, or actually Japan. The yen is pretty high up there, and can't they just divide it by 10?
100. I think that anything's price in yen is effectively its price in cents.
Well, like if anything is $10, your currency has no business having 7 zeros behind it. That's just, it seems like a waste of writing.
What,
and
you've not gone on eBay to get your $4 trillion Zimbabwe dollar note?
I know, but I did send some money to an African prince who said he really wanted to give me some money, but I had to send him money first or something.
If it's not Busy Imarota, I'm not giving any Nigerian my money. If you don't know who that is, look him up. He does magical things to Hondas.
If I ever become really rich, I'm going to buy a city in Niger and then call the city please. Should I write that down on my stand-up act?
Wasn't an episode or two ago that we're discussing the map behind me?
Yes.
And trying to discuss, all right, so if people from Nigeria are Nigerians, who are the people of Nigeria? Are they Nigerians? Are they Nigerese?
They are Nigerians, because evidently it isn't Niger, it's Niger. But that means it's Jaguar.
Go on.
Jaguar. From now on.
I wonder how it is in... When I was in Germany, I did ride in a Jag. It was the only automatic car I saw there.
Yeah, because over there, it's...
Yeah, because they actually drive worth a damn.
Yep.
I was like, yes, I did 130 on the Autobahn in metric in a Passat in 1999.
We'll do a double IPA next. I was going to do the...
That's why you have 2 bottles.
I was going to do the Trail Magic one, but it's Imperial Hopped Pilsner. So I guess we need to...
That's a good in-between.
I think so. So we're going to have this one now. I'm going to chug the rest of... Well, not chug. It's not really a chug.
Foot Trap Double IPA.
Yep.
More River Club.
Yeah.
Does that mean they bottled it? What's River Club?
Well, the first rule of River Club is that you don't talk about River Club.
So I can't read this to people?
All right, go ahead. It's fine.
Which is it, man?
So, you know what I hate? I hate Indian givers. Nah, I take that back.
I was watching Temple of Doom before I came here.
I have to write something down, man. Do we want to pop them open and drink it and then read it, or do we want to? Because we've already.
Frankly, it's easier to hold it in hand and then pop it.
Okay.
So then I can hold it sideways and not worry about spilling it on the table.
Well, you do you, boo boo. I'm going to write down more stuff for my impending maybe not stand up.
Okay. So what I have here is the Nantahala 8-Foot Drop Double IPA, and the tale on the bottle goes: the Nantahala isn't known for big waves, waterfalls, nor rapids, but there are plenty of other rivers and creeks nearby that offer big action for those brave and experienced enough to take the plunge. For those select few, we brewed this epic double IPA in your honor. 8-Foot Drop Double India Pale Ale is big, bold, and packed full of citrusy leaf hops at an ABV who will knock the chill out of those waterlogged bones and warm an adventurous soul. Discover more at NantahalaBrewing.com. 8.5% ABV.
What was the .com front? What commercial was that? Expedia. It was Expedia.com. While Steve's doing that, I'm going to crack open some off-brand Kit Kat. It's called Crisp Wafers. Go ahead. Taste the difference. I fucking dare you.
It's a little less sweet, and it costs half as much. Thanks,
well,
Lidl.
Yeah. Hey, I need to partake in that, too. I'm going to eat one crisp wafer. I'm going to give you a crisp wafer.
I always say don't eat on mic.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
We're not eating. We're snacking on mic.
That one worked.
No, that was a laugh. That wasn't a bottle. You know what? Oh, yeah. I've never had the 8-foot drop. I've had the 4-foot drop a bunch, but I've never had the 8-foot drop.
No, the 6-foot drop.
It's 4.
The 4?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
All right. Go look it up. Is it good, by the way?
You're not gonna like this. I should drink that for you.
All right. Well, hey, the first time was a really good clink, so we should re-clink. That's really satisfying. Oh wow, it smells good.
Tastes a little funny with the chocolate.
It tastes a lot funny with the chocolate, but it's really good.
It's a double IPA, which is the better IPA.
It's really good. So they have a trip. Is there a triple IPA? Because there's Belgian triples and quads, but I think there's just double IPAs. 8.5%. Did you go over the percentage?
8.5.
Yeah, 75 IBUs, which is something international bitter units or something like that.
That sounds correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 4-foot drop, but I'm happy to be wrong. I've been wrong before. December of 2002, I was wrong, but since then I've had a pretty good winning streak. Let's see. We Look Up Shit Podcast, episode 20. But we're out
Next
of our
on AJ and Steve read Wikipedia to you.
But in pleasing baritone voices. You don't get that from just anywhere, do you?
Excuse me there, Steve.
I was pretty sure it was 4-foot drop, and then they had the their staples were that. Is it 4? Okay, good.
Brought to you by Damerly Seasonals.
Nice. And I was thinking, well, another reason I was thinking that it was 4 is because this is the 8-foot drop, and it's a double IPA. Ooh.
So then a 12-foot drop.
It's a triple IPA.
Which does not appear to be showing up right now.
And a 16-foot drop is called Death. What the hell? Who just took off? Nobody in this neighborhood. That sounded like a BMW inline 6 that just went by.
I was going to go with Camaro on pipes.
Like V6 Camaro, not a V8 Camaro. So, Steve, I have some... There it goes again.
I wonder if that picked up on my...
I bet you... Yeah, it did.
It sound good.
Steve, the worst songs of the 80s. We went through the 90s, and we had a pretty good comprehensive list of songs. Some of them we know are horrible, but we still enjoy. So we can separate those. It can be... You can enjoy something and it be terrible. Correct? Like, there are cars that are... Like, some of the old British cars. The Leyland... Take 2. The British Leyland cars. Some of them are horrible. but we still like them.
Leyland, got me on my knees.
Got me on my
Leyland.
back, underneath.
Got me underneath this fucking car.
So have you read any of these from upside down position? Because I wanted to.
It's too dark in here for me to try to do that.
Fair enough.
It's like you have I gotta hold the bottle right by here.
I have 6 songs listed. 7. I have 7 songs listed here. Some of them I actually enjoy. Others I really, if I never heard them again, I would be okay with. I want to see how many you can guess are on this list. Because you probably hate this, or you probably think the same about all of these songs. I can't imagine you would say, no, that's a good song. And it's what comes to mind? What's like the number one hated 80s song? And I know you're gonna get it right.
I don't want to build the city on rock and roll.
That's on here. Check. We built this city by Starship because they had dropped the Jefferson.
Yeah, and then they dropped their talent.
They dropped it way before that, I think, because I just wanted to remind myself how terrible it was, so I listened to a minute of it before.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy, it's properly rubbish. Properly rubbish. Properly Rubbish sounds like a great band name. We have another great band name,
too. Is that going to be a garbage cover band?
Properly Rubbish. It's a British garbage cover band.
Instead of Scottish and American?
Yes. Oh, boy. Somebody had posted they were looking for a masseuse, and she said, does anybody know of one? Somebody goes, I know of one. She's in Gastonia. And I said, Gastonia Massage sounds like either a band name or a sex maneuver. Either one, I'm intrigued by it. Make it clap. Make it snap. Steve, you got 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. You got 1 out of 7 so far. So, any other heinous 80s songs that you can think of?
That is far and away my most hated. I had another note here on that.
What, us? We actually prepared something? Kind of.
Boy, you got what I need, but you say it's just a song. That's a really fucking terrible song.
Okay. It is.
I hate
It is. It is. Biz Marquee. That's 89, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. But I like it. It's
more for you.
It's horrible. But the thing about that song, it knows it's supposed to be bad. Biz Marquee knows he's not a singer, so I'm willing to give a pass on that if you are.
No. That song makes me want to sharpen my Q-tips.
You're not supposed to use Q-tips in your ear. What the? That boggles
dude,
my mind.
No, anytime I get a collection out of it, I say that's a victory.
Emily wants to know if I want anything from Jared Way.
Pardon?
Subway.
So what do you want? The $5 6-year-old?
$5 6-inch. Why we're getting the meatball sub because it's the easiest thing and you can't possibly mess it up.
They put it in a wrap.
A meatball wrap
through. Something that hasn't happened yet.
When they put the meatballs and the sauce on the outside of the bread. It's a reverse meatball sub.
Well, I think with considering how thin that wrap is, they might as well.
I had an epiphany. I've never had a Big Mac. Am I missing anything? It looks like too much bread.
I don't know because at McDonald's I always get the chicken.
Fair enough.
It's always the sandwich or the nuggets or, hey, the McRib has another farewell tour.
God, they're like, the McRib is like Kiss. It keeps coming, like that's
I'd
okay.
rather listen to a McRib.
I would rather listen to a McRib do metal.
I'm going to get a McRib and paint it black and white.
Put the ketchup in a star for like Paul Stanley's eye. By the way, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, Gene Simmons, and
the other guy.
God damn it.
Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley is a horrible fucking guitar player. I am not the best guitar player in the world, but for them to be that big of okay, you know what? This is not a Kiss episode, okay? We're trying to be happy and talk about shitty songs from the 80s, not shitty bands from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Kiss started in the 70s, I think. Pretty
At least their heyday.
Pretty sure, yeah. I mean, if you put,
Although,
you know what? If you're
now that we're on the previous topic, I'm curious, what did they release in the 80s?
Oh boy, I know what they did. I Was Meant for Loving You, Steve.
Wait. How can you hear the song playing in my head, man?
Hey, I told you I fixed your headphones and I installed telepathy in them.
Yikes!
I Was Meant for Loving You. You are not a metal. You are not a metal act if you put out a disco album at some point. You are just not. End of story. There is no debate. Waka waka waka. There's no fucking debate. Steve, you have 6 more chances to get. Well, you have unlimited chances. We're not on the timer. So there's going to be some on here that you're going to go, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of that. What was the other note you had besides Kiss?
The Starship one.
Okay, that was
totally it.
Okay, that was it.
Then the one I really wanted to say, but it's in the wrong decade by probably a few months.
From 70s or 90s?
70s.
Okay.
From 1979. It's a former Beatle and his new band playing a song from a genre we particularly don't like.
Okay.
Simply.
Yeah. Oh, it was not 80s?
It was 1979. I looked it up.
Fuck.
'Cause that was what I texted you about earlier. It's like, yeah.
That's. I would rather be waterboarded by a homeless man's piss than hear that song one more time. I fucking hate that song. I don't like Christmas music anyway. Oops. By the way, my mom puts on Christmas music every December, but my dad hates it.
So she's waiting a few weeks. That's nice.
But she puts it
Thanks,
on
Sue.
the Opie and Jim Norton show's Christmas music. Oh yeah. So there's an XM station that's still a thing that plays
I know.
horrible Christmas songs that are just vulgar and just right up our alley. So
Okay.
later on,
So
off
they can all be AC/DC's Mistress for Christmas.
it's so my fucking favorite Christmas song. We could go over this in December.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
No,
End of session.
no, Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis.
Nice.
We're probably gonna have to cover Christmas. We don't have to cover it, but we'll probably go with
Yeah, at least wait till it's appropriate. Sure.
Yeah, even though we got our Christmas trees in
Like
yesterday, and 5 of them are over 10 feet tall. They're huge Christmas trees.
You know, I'm really indifferent about getting a Christmas tree. However, my current dwelling could accommodate an irresponsibly huge Christmas tree because it's got
Your current dwelling could house the Times Square Christmas tree.
because it's the way it's set up.
That house is so deliciously everything great about the 70s that
If that's the case, so am I. It was built in 81.
Oh, 81. Okay.
Thanks, Internet.
It's-
Might as well be in the 80s.
Okay, yeah.
70s. Shit. I can't even say the thing I want to say.
8-foot drops where it's at, ain't it? It's starting to taste better after the chocolate.
It's working.
Ooh.
Can't even get the wrong thing I want to say wrong. Right.
Steve,
What?
we can dance if we want to. You can leave your friends behind because if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance,
Then
they're
they
no
are no friends of mine. Do, 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 do. You know,
Would you put it on there?
and this is, I could totally see why.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
one
love
doesn't
it.
Bug me. Yeah.
I love it, but it's a horrible song. It's an even worse video. Have you seen the video?
No.
It is just, from what I remember, a bunch of midgets running around in a field.
Don't get short with me.
I've had it up to here with midgets.
About half. Oh, you've been listening to Bloodhound Gang too?
Did I show you that?
Yeah, what's
that's
up, Rip Taylor?
That's a shirt on Busted Tees and T-shirt Hell. I told you about the one I got that I'm getting shipped here. Yeah, the one about Pulp Fiction and then the Santa. Do you even gift?
Yeah.
So Steve, Walk the Dinosaur. Please tell me you've heard of that. It's by the band called Was, and then in parentheses, it's not Was. So, get up on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur.
Was not was. Okay.
It's,
That-
everybody walk the dinosaur. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Walk the dinosaur.
It's horrible.
I guess it's got a higher tolerance for 80s music.
We might not be talking about the same.
Maybe. Everyone up, get on the floor. Everyone walk the dinosaur.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's later in the song, there's a high pitch nonsense.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't make it that far in my revisiting the song.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about. And somehow it was not dimmer to last.
Eddie,
Or Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Take Me Home Tonight. Eddie Money.
I would like that song a whole lot if it weren't for Feed My Little Baby.
Feed my
I
little.
do not fucking care.
I thought you said "Feed My Little Baby."
Yeah. It was
Okay.
like,
Feed my little baby. Feed my darling.
stop it. No.
That's the
It could
only.
be such a cool song, except no.
That's the only reason I put that in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you put that in there? Because is that
Yeah,
bad
because
enough?
of that, yes.
Yes.
That ruins the song. I like that song except for that fucking bit.
Bully.
Boom.
How about Olivia Newton-John? Physical. It's horrible.
That was the number one song the day I was born.
No shit. Mine was
Would the internet lie to me?
Reddit wouldn't on Tuesday. Oh, damn it. It's Wednesday.
Whatever.
Yesterday, or when I was born, it was How Will I Know If He Really Loves Me by Whitney Houston.
Ooh.
So I can I tolerate Whitney Houston songs because she's a great singer. Or
Yeah,
she was a great
although
singer.
I got really sick of the Bodyguard soundtrack.
You
from
too, huh?
6th grade. We would run around the gym listening to Whitney Houston songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me, I'd say 20 years to get over Torment by running around the gym listening to Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, I did not care for that because I didn't care for that class. I did not care for that gym teacher. I didn't care for having to go to middle school. It was a bad time.
Oh boy. Let's see. I don't like most of Whitney Houston's songs are. If I never hear "I Will Always Love You" anymore, I would love it. Her version or Dolly Parton's version. It's not the tits. Wink. But like, "How Will I Know If He Really?" Not a bad song. Her what was the other one? It was "I Want to Dance with Somebody."
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with that. That's a good feel good. Definitely a wedding song. When you did the "Waiting to Exhale" soundtrack, when that started to get a little bit more mellow. But congratulations to Whitney. She's been sober 8 years.
I think that was a meme before memes were memes. Was a picture of Charlie Sheen saying, "Silly Whitney, only I can do that many drugs and survive."
And Keith Richards. Also, the headline: Whitney Houston beats Bobby Brown to death. How's that 8-foot drop dropping out of your nose feel?
Not as fizzy as I thought it would be.
All right. So do you hate Let's Get Physical by Olivia Newton-John? Or is it just kind of bad and
It's
not...
kind of there. I think, yeah. I think just my love of the musical Grease and the fact that is my birthday song. It doesn't bug me. If I listen to it 10 times in a row, I'll get back to you. But I could see why.
I don't think anybody...
It's kind of repetitive and silly.
I imagine
But
that probably got played.
Video, all that 1981 spandex.
Mm-hmm. And if you look really closely, you can see the makings of like matted down hair. Gross.
I was gonna go with dromedary feet, but whatever.
Those moose knuckles sure are warm in the winter. Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy.
That is awesome. Full.
Yep.
Yep.
Now I enjoy it.
Like on
You
the
enjoy
on
it.
the drive up, Kevin was like, "What do you want to listen to?" Like, put 80s stuff on. And we made it through the whole song. Like, it is terrible,
Yes.
but it's hilarious.
All right, we can keep
it's
it
like,
on.
It's like, it's like, it's totally Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Yep. And he brought up in his stand-up routine, he brought up a good point. He's like, if it's a hit and everybody loves it, I make money. If it's not, I can make fun of it in my stand-up act and make money. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, kudos to Eddie Murphy, man.
Yep.
Him in that red jumpsuit from 1980. Boy,
You know,
things that don't age well.
as well as a lot of the content of it.
What the
Fuck you,
kittens?
Windows. You got to reconnect your drive, yo.
I don't know what that means.
Fuck.
Everything's been working, so
Oh,
if that came through, sorry, guys. It shouldn't have. I don't know. If you hear a ding, just disregard that. My last one I had was a song by...
Phil Collins.
No. Studio. I like that song. I almost put it on there.
It's like that. It's like that's one like never bugged me much. Like, why the chick named Studio and her parents don't know how to spell it?
Because they stutter.
Sutter.
Hey.
Is that the malt beverage Sutter Home?
Sutter Home is a wine, and it was one of my first experiences of getting super hammered at 18.
Shithoused.
That and Mad Dog, which I thought was a good idea at the time to mix Mad Dog and sweet tea. And guess what? It's not a good idea to mix that. That was 14 and a half years ago.
Did you see the new ad campaign already for 2020?
No.
Mad Dog 2020, guaranteed to give America a migraine even bigger than November 7th, 2016.
I will believe that when I see it. Have you also seen the Water 2020?
No.
All right, so 45 canceled an appearance because it was raining. So somebody made flyers that said Water 2020. My last on here, Steve, do you know what boys like? Do you know what guys want?
What's the band, The Waitresses?
The Waitresses.
Oh, that is a garbage song.
It's a fucking horrible. Yeah.
Nice. That's that's terrible.
Is it worse than We Built This City? I'm
gonna go with yes.
You think it is?
Yeah. The thing is, We Built the City is forever like the quintessential terrible '80s song. Like, I would venture to guess and say yes, that is worse.
I'm only gonna play devil's advocate because I like playing for the winning team. One,
Heyo.
and B, I think We Built This City is a worse song because I believe Starship, when they wrote the song, they thought it was a good song, and I think when the Waitresses wrote I Know What Boys Like, they were just fucking around, and they were just like, this is fun and stupid and silly, and it's going on the album.
And for what it's worth, that Starship abortion makes rounds on radio. It gets played in public.
Mm-hmm.
I Know What Boys Like. It's kind of a hidden lump of coal.
It is. And I think
because it should be set on fire.
Next time we find ourselves at karaoke, which is extremely rare because you and I are never in places together that have karaoke. When they do, we're going to do a duet of I Know What Boys Like.
But I just want to do Ballroom Blitz.
All right. Well, can we do Blitzkrieg Bop?
Also, yes.
And I'll just sing Let's Drink Pop, and we'll see if anybody notices the difference.
But you're not Midwestern.
There are plenty of bad. That was the ones that I found during my research. Now, there's songs I don't enjoy, but Steve has a mostly charged.
It's at 10/11.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think I could name another song by the Waitresses, even if I had a gun to my head.
Cannot play that game.
Nope. Lyrical content aside, Walk the Dinosaur is so fucking stupid that it boggles my mind that any record company signed off on that. But in the 60s, Inagata Davida was 18 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, but that was a much gentler time. That was acid and weed, whereas the 80s was coke. So I've never seen anybody overdose on weed. I don't know about you. By the way, while
No,
Steve's looking
that's,
shit up,
not a good cross buzz allegedly for me on caffeine, beer, gummy bears, and a hot tub.
yeah.
I'm really wondering if I can make my heart explode.
Whereas
Because that hurts.
Whereas Steve and I, it is also allegedly very funny when a friend of yours has somebody else make these really delicious cookies, but then you don't think they're doing anything, and then you eat 2.5 of them instead of one. It will make you so high you will smell what flavor the number 5 tastes like. He was out for 2.5.
You went beyond paralysis because I'd warned you.
Me? No, not me.
That.
Him, not me.
Yes.
I just went to sleep.
Oh, yeah. The other guy. I was drunk at the time.
Yeah, the other guy. Remember, he couldn't drive. He had to have his significant other drive. So
yes, it was Blair told him that. I was like, it's going to be cookie-induced paralysis after this.
that's a great band name. Cookie-induced paralysis.
You know what I really like neither of us landed on?
What?
Getting Rickrolled.
I like that song.
I like that song too.
But is it worse than Together Forever? You remember that one? Together forever.
Oh wow, the other song?
Yeah, the other
I'd
one.
rather listen to Never Gonna Give You Up.
Cookie induced. What was it?
So no.
I'm writing it down.
Cookie induced paralysis.
Hope I spelled that right. Y before I, except after
Whatever.
Sky.
Except after 8-foot drop.
Holy kittens. By the way, speaking of kittens.
Where's the 80s playlist? I actually posted this on our Facebook page for the podcast.
Today?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Not the worst.
Oh. Maybe I didn't...
It was at 3 o'clock.
Oh.
So
I was...
maybe you were naked or showering or both.
Driving. I shower clothed.
Because laundry's fun.
It's like doing laundry and cleaning yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get up on that, man. There's all right, fuck Rolling Stone. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Not since 90s.
But here's a fun part. Almost every one of these worst songs of the 80s or of all time has "We Built This City" on there, which is universal.
You know, it's yeah.
Hanging Tough by New Kids on the Block. I don't think any New Kids. No,
it was like two songs that are massive, and you know, listening back at it, it's like it's not that terrible.
It's boy band music.
Silly.
Yeah, it's poppy boy band music.
But
it's all interchangeable.
I've heard so much worse as time has marched on.
All right, fuck these guys, man. Get Out of My Dreams and Get Into My Car by Billy Ocean.
Aww.
I fucking like that song.
Me too.
Okay, good. That's what friends are for. The horrible... I don't think... Okay, it was for a good cause. They like that and We Are the World. They donated a lot of the money for charity. So, Kokomo.
Not their best work, but it's still the Beach Boys.
I mean, I like the Manson years.
I was like, they play that song on Full House. Like, that tickles the cockles of my like of a heart.
The same episode that we were talking about before this episode, Family Guy. Stewie's singing Kokomo when he gets in the tanning bed. He says, "Not too fast, 'cause Stewie takes it slow."
That's where Stu's gonna go. Whoa.
Oh, thank you. I think my phone's listening to our conversation because there's an advertisement for the McRib Extra Value menu, which is add a second sandwich. Add a second McRib for $1.49. That's actually not a bad deal.
How much does the first one go for?
I don't. I'm not clicking on that ad.
I fell into the QT trap last night of buy a sub. It's going to be $5.50, or buy a sub with drink, get $2 off.
There you go.
Drink is $1.80.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to have my first vanilla Coke in a while.
I love vanilla Coke. Even vanilla anything. Vanilla is synonymous with plain. I fucking love vanilla, and that's not a white thing.
It is the finest of the flavors.
I don't know, man. Darker the meat, sweeter the juice. So I've heard.
That's not how the Canadian song goes.
Stuck with You by Huey Lewis is not a great song.
It's not their best work. Although I find it really funny in Huey's catalog that they've got All Right and a song called But It's All Right. 2 different songs with titles both containing All Right.
Is the lyrical content
they're
similar?
Very different songs.
Well, okay. All right, but you couldn't name it anything else. Like somebody had Ultimate Guitar had a challenge, like name the top 10 greatest songs that don't have the song title in the name. And that was actually really like that don't have the song title in the lyrics.
Instrumentals. What?
that was really challenging.
Like Call of the Cthulhu.
Well,
Anesthesia.
Not as well. I don't know what the
Baba O'Reilly.
I don't know what the Ooh Ooh song by Pat Benatar is, but now I don't want to. Baby, Don't Forget My Number. Anything Milli Vanilli. I'm sorry. It's just more poppy nonsense, but it's not terrible. Pop isn't terrible. Pop's not meant to be serious.
Doesn't even count.
Well, here, my judgment. I think from now on, my judgment.
Blame it on today's weather.
Good. You mean the past 2 weeks? Garbage is fucking outside. I think my new barometer for terrible songs is if they put it out as a serious. No, this is serious art and music, and I take it seriously. If they think that and it's still bad, that's worse than a joke song. Like Don't Worry, Be Happy was on some of those lists, and I don't think it was meant to be goofy and silly and happy. Now, Shiny Happy People is 90s. Yeah. But that's a horror. You know what makes that
not REM's best work.
It's not. And you know what? I suffer the Steve syndrome because the song wouldn't be that horrible if it weren't for the whiny guy. Because I can deal with the B-52's chick in there, because at least I can watch the video and see the poofy red hair. Because we all, and by all I mean you and I, appreciate that. Mickey by Tony Basil. Don't hate it.
Yeah.
She still looks amazing, by the way, if you haven't seen what she looks like in the last couple of years.
Ever.
What? We'll remedy that. There's Together Forever. Lady in Red by Krista Burge.
Never liked that one.
No, but what's the saving grace? It's in Dodgeball. Nice. Emily and I watched Dodgeball the other night. Unfortunately, it was edited because it was on, I think, FXXX, whatever the new FX channel is.
I think
now.
it's now the FX Ocho.
There you go. Me So Horny by the Revolting Cucks.
I actually saw them. They opened for Ministry. That was an
Excuse me?
insane fucking show.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What kind of ticket was that?
The best ever. It's like, oh shit, I never told you about this.
No.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, back in the day, went to a series of industrial shows, a couple of Cam FDMs, a couple of Nine Inch Nails, a couple of Ministries, and one of the Ministry shows, Revolting Cocks opened for them. And it's insane, and they've been around forever.
Oh my goodness.
Band named, much like Eagles of Death Metal, that, a bunch of people hanging around. You're a bunch of revolting cocks, because they're just being lewd in public. Well, the band name was born. In my quest to downsize my CD collection, the Revcos will survive.
I wish
They
What was their mascot? Because
a dancing penis?
I would
What?
I would love for it to be like a chicken dressed as a Black Panther with like a wing in the air. I mean, that would be, they missed an opportunity.
It'd be a left wing.
Probably so.
So, raise the other one. Yeah, That was the most hilarious show ever.
I don't know what
But yes, that is a real thing, and they covered Rod Stewart's "Do You Think I'm Sexy?"
I've heard that. Yeah,
It's bonkers.
it's great. But I've never heard of the band Modern Talking, and I've never heard the song Geronimo's Cadillac.
Excuse me?
Right there. Geronimo's Cadillac. I've never heard that song. Are we gonna have to hear this song?
A, I don't know. Two, this is really making me think
All right, I'm playing.
of the terrible movie Terminal Velocity.
It's 80s. Oh wow, the video. This is great.
Well, I know what I'm listening to later.
That's fantastic.
But in the movie Terminal Velocity, sadly from the 90s.
Yeah.
So not time appropriate for this, but they drop an Alante out of an airplane.
Fuck yes. I'm going to listen to that later too. Geronimo's Cadillac. Also not a bad band name. Geronimo's Caddy. That
He golfs.
I'll tumble for yous on here, but I like Culture Club.
Take it or leave it.
And the singer, she's pretty cute.
Ralph Wiggum, you fox.
Air Supply, the one that you love, that's on here. Putting on the Ritz, fuck you, I like Falco.
That was
video.
Falco?
Falco's...
Okay, I didn't know what that was.
Wait, no. Falco was putting on the Ritz. Or Falco was Rock Me Amadeus. Putting on the Ritz was, motherfucker. Taco.
Pardon?
Taco. 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 And the video was great, by the way. Have you ever seen the video to Putting on the Ritz?
No.
We have so much shit to do after hours on this, on this episode. Oh my! You've never seen that video? It's him like dressed up like Dracula.
Dude, I don't know how I survived high school, but I did no homework then.
It's the greatest fucking thing ever. It's just him like walking around like dressed as Dracula, putting on the Ritz.
When's the last time you've been around Concord Mills? Because speaking of taco,
Not long enough. Why?
far side of it, over near the Lidl there,
Yeah.
is a place called Tacos for Life.
What? I don't have to run, do I? Like to run for life and do this for life?
They'll just happily take your money and give you tacos. Sadly, I was passing by there at 9 in the morning and they're not open yet.
Breakfast tacos.
Yeah. Well, across the way they've got the Maple Street Biscuit Company, which is awesome.
I've never been there. I've never been to Biscuitville.
And there's one here's an Indian Trail. Then
It's close
trying to
enough.
Get in and out, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
But they're good. I think that's the only one around here, and then the next one's in Thomasville.
Eek.
It's like, they're good.
What's
They're
a comparable?
effectively a better Bojangles biscuit bunch.
Okay, good, because Bojangles food is, I'll give you this, it's decent, but as a native Charlottean, I got to tell you, I'm not really like...
You feel more like Popeyes, don't you?
I think KFC has better chicken, and I will go to my grave thinking that, even if my grave is today or in 100 years, I think KFC has better chicken than Bojangles. Bojangles biscuits are decent, but I feel like a complete piece of shit after I eat them, because when you get Bojangles food, you get a sausage, just one biscuit, and then you take your biscuit home, and the grease is not only seeped through the wrapper, it's seeped through
bag.
your napkins and the bag that it's in.
And now the seat of your car.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I like fattening, horrible, greasy foods, but I do want to taste the food more than I want to taste the grease. Usually. Mr. Robato's on here. I don't think that's a horrible... It's stupid, but I don't think it's...
I like it.
It's
That was 80s?
humorous. Yep. Mr. Roboto. Wango Tango by Ted... crazy fuck.
That
Final Countdown's on here. Fuck you. We didn't start the fires on here too, but I like We Don't Start the Fire.
Dude, that was one of my earliest favorite songs.
I love We Don't Start the Fire. Harry Truman,
Hell, if I
Doris
could
Day,
ever-
Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio. I told you I like this song.
Goodness. But could you write verses leading from 1989 through now?
Marilyn Monroe. Hemingway, Eichmann, Stranger in a Strange Land, Dylan, Berlin, Bay of Pigs Invasion, Lawrence of Arabia, British Beatlemania, Oh Miss John Glenn, something, Palestine. Yeah, I know a little bit of it. I've blown Steve's mind. I think if I break that out acoustic, I think either everybody's going to go, what in the world is he doing? Or they're going to fucking go nuts.
Oh, my Allah. That's amazing.
It can't be that hard to play. I mean, it can't be. Because he wasn't even playing the piano in that, and he was known to play.
Because of his synth brother.
Pet Shop Boys. Domino Dancing. Haven't heard that one. I've heard, what's the other Pet Shop Boys one?
If I could.
West End Girls. That was Pet Shop Boys, wasn't it? Fuck, I don't.
No,
I don't remember.
I don't know Pet Shop Boys.
All right,
No.
I don't remember Sunshine Reggae by Laid Back.
I've got a feeling I'm already not going to like it.
Probably not. Footloose is on here. I mean, if you're gonna go Kenny,
If you said Danger Zone, awful funny.
There you go.
No.
Da 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 by Trio. that didn't.
Oh, hey, Volkswagen.
Yeah, Volkswagen had the greatest ad campaign. That and the
At least it looks smarter.
German engineering in the house. Yeah. I don't know what that guy's name is, but he played
Not Mike Myers.
No, he played Lucifer in movie with Keanu Reeves, Constantine.
Okay.
Same guy. He played Lucifer in Constantine.
It's been a while.
Lucifer, Constantine actor. Yeah, I can't remember that fucking guy's name, but he's in a lot of things. Peter Stormare. Peter Ingvar Stormare. He's Swedish. That's very IKEA.
With a name like that, it sure sounds like Swedish.
That guy.
He's been in, like, more stuff, yeah. Just kind of a
Here's a happier looking version of him. The other
Tom Segura?
The other one I showed you was him as Lucifer. That's cool. And dressed in all white. Fucking cool, man.
With eye sockets redder than his eyes. That's impressive makeup.
Oh, the joys of modern makeup. Something like that.
I wouldn't know.
I'll show you some tips later.
Kalen is curious to put mascara on me to see who really does have the better eyelashes. Like, I've got trouble enough with my eyelashes falling in my eyes as they are. I don't need goop on them too.
Eyelashes.
I'm really freaked out by this idea.
Eyelashes are supposed to keep things out of your eyes, and the only thing that goes in my eyes are eyelashes. Well played, eyelashes. I can't think of any other really horrible 80s songs without looking them up.
Or just be like, here's somebody's list. Kind of like that, kind of like that, kind of like that, kind of love that. That doesn't bother me. Kind of like that. So, the 12 of you listening to this, chime in with your favorite or least favorite 80s songs.
Actually, we have a decent amount of downloads. The YouTube page is taking a bit of a hiatus, only because it's a gigantic pain in the ass to upload videos that aren't even really videos. So a lot of the stuff's going to be on Libsyn now because it's streamable and it's very easily downloadable. YouTube eats up bandwidth. YouTube eats up data for people, so we're still going to have the YouTube page. But
Top Gear Top Tip, cats and kittens, get TubeMate on your Android device. Then you can download video or audio.
I'll get to it
of your
eventually.
YouTube.
But from henceforth, it's going to be mostly on Libsyn because that's going to be a better route. I didn't know Marin doesn't have anything on YouTube like podcast. There's not a lot of
At least-
podcast stuff.
Correction, he doesn't. Although his fans allegedly may or may not have posted everything of his on there.
Okay. Yeah, you got it.
No, never mind. Like, the last 50 episodes of Marin are available through his podcast feed. But
That's
if
true.
you can imagine whomever he might have interviewed in almost 1,000 episodes, it may or may not live there.
Thank you, nerd with an afro.com. Rupert Holmes, the Pina Colada song. Well, how much
was
do
one of
you
those,
hate
like, I didn't like it, and then learning the story as to what the song is made it more entertaining.
I'm on the fence about that.
I never encountered that sort of thing back in my dating days.
Aren't you glad you're done with that?
Yep.
Like, because anytime Emily and I, like, we don't fight, but, like, anytime she does or says something that's really annoying, I just go, oh, boy, you know what? I think I got it made. I think I'm just going to, like, be okay. I think I'll be okay. Just give me a couple minutes. Going back to dating game now would be fucking horrible, and I know it would be. It'd be worse for me than it would be for you, because I've been out of it for a long fucking time now. But I couldn't even imagine. And the people that get married like 4 times, you're an absolute... What's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe it depends.
Oh, hey, Spot, I just put you on it.
Maybe it depends on the situation, man. Gosh.
I do know a guy that's been married 4 times. And the 4th time, he got married to his second ex-wife. Oh, yeah.
Some royalty bullshit.
For real.
Funny you mentioned that over the same week when we were in Bryson, my dad's cousin got married for his 3rd time. That when in Asheville, my uncle told me that's what this was. Oh. Like, nobody in my extended family gets divorced. And apparently, I knew Terry had once, but I didn't know twice. So he's, I don't know, give or take 60.
Well, 2 times I do understand. 3 is...
the magic number.
Pushing it. My dad's been married 3 times. My
Was she gonna listen to this?
Probably not. Either of them, no. Brother's been married once. He's might as well be married to his current girlfriend, but they're not married. And then my other 2 sisters had been married twice. Engaged probably here and there, but But then my dad's been married 3 times. My mom's only been married once. My brother is literally my brother from another mother. Hey, Greg, I hope you're still listening. He makes some really good food. That man can cook. Like, he always posts pictures, and his girlfriend Kim will pick a country. He'll just say, we're going to have dinner tonight, pick a country. And she'll pick a country, and then he will cook something that's like a staple food from that country. It's pretty neat.
I don't like food with little metal bits in it.
Here's the cheesiest songs of the 80s, which can pretty much double as Broken Wings.
I like that one.
I like Mr. Mister.
Way better than Kiri.
Oh, boy. Steve.
Yes.
Red wine.
That's going to go my worst. Fucking hate UB40. Fuck you, British white boy reggae. That's rubbish.
Sailing, Christopher Cross.
Nah.
It's
got the
bad,
only
but,
redeeming quality of Christopher Cross is he's the only man in existence to look like both members of Tenacious D in one lifetime.
He does. And he can sing, actually. He has a really he's very pretty voice. I like his voice. Hello from Lionel Richie. It's cheesy, but it's not bad.
It'd be funny if you're wearing your Waldo shirt.
It would be. Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. I don't think that's a bad song either. I think it's just one of those
it's cute.
Cheesy, cute, poppy song. Oh no, we have...
That's one of those I've heard a zillion times, but hell if I know which '80s pop teen star did it.
Well, Tiffany did that one, and then she had. I know Tiffany had another one, but without looking up any other Tiffany song, I just couldn't damn tell you. Party Town from Glenn Frey. Oh, was
what the hell? Post Eagles.
What was the other? The Heat Is On.
Yeah, that was him.
Okay, but was it 80s?
Yeah, that was
Oh my
84.
Because I laughed.
Have I not badgered you a time or 6 to watch Beverly Hills Cop? At least the first one.
Oh, yeah, you have. But they had that on Your Mom's House podcast because they had the. Did you watch that with Mark Maron?
Yes,
Oh,
it was like that or something
Sister
else.
Act 2. So you had to choose between music and movies. So for the listeners, there was a Would You Rather, and it was Would You Rather. Would you?
Yeah, you had mentioned that episodes ago when you
Okay.
first heard it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but that was
I laughed.
funny.
It's like Tom Segura's like, hey, so you'd be like looking at movies, and you'd be like, hey, so have you seen The Shape of Water? And you're like, no, but have you seen Sister Act 2? Man, I watched that movie so many times.
When they say you're back in the habit, they're not kidding.
I would absolutely choose. I would do the movie. I would rather watch Sister Act 2 all the time than only have to listen to the heat, because I don't watch TV in my car and at work. Like I need music. I need
you need a car configured the way mine is.
I'm gonna upgrade the sound system on the Jeep eventually.
Stop lying to yourself.
Here's some Richard Marx. I like Richard Marx. Fuck this guy. But it's cheesy. It's cheesy. Okay, this is not bad. This is just cheesy. Wild Wild West from the Escape Club. I don't know what that is.
Wild, wild west. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, wild, wild west.
Not ringing a
She's
bell.
So fine. Blah, 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 blah.
Not ringing a bell. Is it bad though? Or is it just cheesy and stupid?
It's cheesy and stupid. Absolutely bad. It is when it was.
I can't believe Bat Dance from Prince is on here. I like Bat Dance. I like everything Prince, but I'm more of a Prince fan. Gray and I are more Prince fans than you are.
Yes.
Okay. Obsession from Animotion. Animotion. Like animal and motion.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Private Dancer. That's not cheesy or bad. It's just a
Hold
song
me
about a
close.
hooker. Or
Hold me
stripper.
closer, private dancer.
Counting dollars in my jockstrap. There's Kokomo again. Cheesy, yes. Bad, no. Moving on. I'm hoping for like gold, like one we both just look at each other and go, that is horrible. But there's Putting on the Ritz again. See, Taco. There's the video, by the way. I didn't mean to press play, but if the shoe fits, get another one just like it.
If the shoe fits, get kicked off YouTube. Whatever.
I mean, if we're not on YouTube,
And like, at least audio wise, that
check it out. Told you. I told you, he's kind of dressed like Dracula. And he's carrying a lightsaber. It's a great fucking video. Heat of the Moment. She is cheesy, but I don't think it's bad. The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics.
I know that one. It's kind of a serious song. At least I think that's what it is.
I mean, he's in a graveyard with a kid, so it kind of looks pretty
That
serious.
sounds kind of fitting for the song.
Wake Me Up Before You Go-Go is on here.
Oh, it's rad.
Yeah. I'm With You from Sheriff. I don't know. Heartbeat by Don Johnson.
No, I was getting him confused with Don Henley. Never mind.
I was thinking of
Don
Doc
Johnson.
Johnson, but Doc Johnson's a porn star from the 70s, I think.
No, I was thinking Don Johnson, the dude from Miami Vice.
That's the worst name for anything I've ever read. But here's How Am I Supposed to Live Without You from Michael Bolton. But I
know that one.
Oh yeah.
I really love the way he sang "When a Man Loves a Woman."
Oh. Hey. You're gonna know.
I supposed to make a career sound like
I mean, do
this?
you remember Kids in the Hall did a Michael Bolton, and every song he sang, his head blew up? I remember waking up at like 3 a.m. My mom was watching TV because she slept on the couch, and my dad sleeps in the bed, and that's how it's been for years. But I was like, "What are you watching?" She goes, "I have no idea." She goes, "It's called Kids in the Hall." I'm like, "I can't sleep. I'm gonna watch this with you." I was like 12 years old. We were watching it. I was like, "This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life."
Did you ever see the Ben Stiller show? From
You told me
1992? Oh,
only
shoot.
like one episode.
Like we watched a few episodes of that the other night. Like we're laughing our asses off. Like this is incredible.
His dad's still alive, isn't he?
I think so.
Jerry? Okay. I think it's time for the more Nantahala beer.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. We're going to share this one. We need glassware because it's a tall boy bottle. So we're only going to... We are fast running out of table here. But we're going to see how long we can milk this. Emily's bringing me a meatball sub. I can't wait for that.
Guess what I'm having later?
What?
More chili.
Fuck yeah, that chili's great, man. God damn, that chili's good.
And I helped.
Thanks, Shake and Bake. I Want to Be a Cowboy from Boys Don't Cry. I don't remember that, but that guy looks like a trashier Kid Rock. All right,
The title like that.
Well, I accidentally pressed the wrong fucking button. Okay. Here was what I was talking about before I segued. This is the name of the band is Charlene, or the artist, and then the song is "I've Never Been to Me." All right, the one with that one. I've never been to me.
Something so terrible that's not even a valid video.
I'm fine with it. Steve, what are we about to drink?
Nantahala Trail Magic 14 Tropically Hopped Imperial Pilsner.
Topically trapped.
Yes. Every year, several thousand ambitious people set out to hike the Appalachian Trail from end to end. For many, it's a lifelong dream. For many, it's an exercise in willpower. For many, it's a way to find oneself. But for all to attempt a through hike, it's a journey filled with unexpected challenges, perils, surprises, and for some, trail magic. Known along the AT, trail magic is a random act of kindness, a firm stranger, meant to encourage and relieve through hikers during their 2,180-mile journey from Springer Mountain, Georgia, to Mount Clachan, Maine.
Bless you.
I don't know how to pronounce that, but the H and the D, you do what you can. With the same spirit of big challenges and a desire to connect our brews with the wilderness that surrounds us, the 14th brew in our Trail Magic Ale series is a refreshing, tropically hopped Imperial Pilsner, infused with tropical hop varieties by our Hoppopotamus and the Rhinoceros.
Fuck yes.
This Imperial Pilsner has the adventurous soul of a great Smoky Mountain summer. Like the random acts of kindness along the App Trail, our Trail Magic Ale manifests itself in many ways. Blaze the trail to our brewery in limited releases in March, June, and October each year.
Got it right.
Visit our website at nantahalabrewing.com to learn more.
Sweet.
In the 2016 limited release series from June.
Oh yeah, this is aged. Pop that, roll that beautiful bean footage, Steve. While I give you, "I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight" from Cutting Crew.
Nice.
I love that song. He was Scott Stapp before Scott Stapp was Scott Stapp.
Don't besmirch the crew which cuts with such awfulness.
Oh my fucking, what in the world? Tarzan Boy from Baltimore. Is that how it goes?
Why do I have some Listerine now?
Is that how it goes?
You've never heard that song?
I have not.
Glass.
Oh boy. Okay.
Dude, that was the
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know what it is now.
Okay.
Yeah, because that shit was in the Listerine ads back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Glory of Love from Peter Cetera. everything Peter Cetera was cheesy, but I don't think it was bad. It was just cheesy love songs.
It's not that in Chicago.
That was the first before Emily and I were a thing. Like before, like the first when I took her to a concert, because I was like, who have you seen? She goes, I've seen the Beach Boys. I've seen Chicago. I'm like,
you got dragged to the concert by your folks, didn't you?
Well, when she worked at Bobcats Arena, when that was that and not Time Warner. Thank you, sir. I took her first to. Fuck, what was the first? All right, cheers. All right, hold on. There we go. That's a little better.
Cheers, Mike. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's really good. And it's from, I should have bought more bottles. Knowing it's from 2016. Aged 2 years and almost a half. God, that's really good. What was the ABV?
Let's see that there.
8?
Okay.
That's a very high Pilsner. It's tropically hot.
That's why it's a fantastic one.
That's the best Pilsner I've ever had. Would you go that far? He'd go that far. He likes to nod on Mike.
You can't hear my head rattling.
The Girl Is Mine from Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. I mean, that wasn't a great song, but Blame It on the Rain. I like that. Maniac from Michael Cimbello.
Nice.
That only makes me
love the song, but do not know who did it.
Tommy Boy. That's the only thing I think of when I think of that. Michael Cimbello. Go ahead and remember that. There's Party All the Time. We Built This City. All right. Okay, that's cheesy, but I like it. She's Like the Wind.
She's like the wind.
I think Swayze. I think Swayze had a pretty good voice. Oh my God, I forgot about that. We can build this band together.
Oh wow, that was more Starship, wasn't it?
It was. The only thing
I don't hate that one.
What's funny about that one?
Nothing's gonna stop us now.
What's funny about that one is the episode of Family Guy where he Meg puts in a tape. She goes, "All right, Dad, if you watch this, then you'll die." And it's supposed to be The Ring, and it's Mannequin, and it's when he's taking a mannequin on. It's like, we can build this way together. And then it cuts to Peter. And Peter's got a broken nose. I'm laughing at it every time.
Did you see the picture of this engineer hauling a crash test dummy that's clinging onto a pole going towards Dacia for a crash test?
No.
Grand Tour Nation friggin' delivers.
Oh my goodness. Is Grand Tour on episode or season 3 yet or no?
Nope.
Wow.
That was the earliest date it should have started was a few weeks ago, and that didn't happen.
Aw.
So, I think it'll be the case of we get it when we get it.
Well, I'm okay with that, because, I mean, holy shit.
Meanwhile, Velocity is about to become Motor Trend Television.
Yeah. All right, so there was Tony Basil in Mickey days.
Holy hair.
Well, that was 80s. I'll show you now. Time's been kind to her. Here's Tony Basil 1969, because that just showed up, and holy ball sack of Jawea. Look at that. Pardon me while I go to the jack room and back off. 3 purrs in 1 episode, Steve. That's crazy talk.
That's what we do here.
That's the understatement of the world. Because we're talking about 80s Jags and playing bad 80s songs in them. We should equate.
We really should have gotten Suka Kane for this episode.
Well, you know what? I've just got an idea, and I think you're gonna enjoy. You got a spare mirror I can borrow out of a Countach? Let's equate songs with cars. And let me explain what I kind of mean. So
I got an easy one.
All right, so I'm going we can do this one of two ways. We can decide on it, or I can give you a car and you give me the first song you would play driving that car.
Okay.
What comes to mind? What song comes to mind?
That's gonna be easier.
All right, let's do that. Testarossa. Easier, you say?
It's like I'm gonna try to think of both.
I feel like Testarossa and Countach would be the same.
At least the same balls out Italianness.
Yeah, it'd be the same.
Something DLR Van Halen, because that's what they do.
Panama would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good one.
That was good enough for Gran Turismo to open with that fucking song.
True. Yeah, that's true. That one.
3.
Okay. Yeah, Gran Turismo's not on the Raspberry Pi. I didn't see it.
It was a different memory card. If you think you had trouble playing Super Nintendo, you're not prepared for the lag offered by this.
Hey, if it's really slow, maybe my reaction time would be that much better.
Says the games. No. Doing the 24-hour endurance races, and it's going to take you 30 hours.
I will tell you that game is going to probably have to wait till another day. That's gonna, but that's a good game to play.
Yeah,
I like that game. The first, I'm big on first songs I listen to in a car. When I bought the S2K and I got the keys the first time, and we were driving away back home, the first song I listened to was "Be Quiet and Drive" from Deftones, which you've heard, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
That was the first song, and that sticks with me. So I think that's important. I think when I got the Jeep, I think the first song I listened to was "Death Blooms" by Mudvayne.
Wow.
So that doesn't ring as...
Yeah, the only song that really sticks out driving-wise was, or a couple of them anyway, were almost getting in a really high-speed accident, listening to Creed's One, going to high school, from the
I feel angry. I feel helpless.
It's like driving through downtown Greensboro at extended rates of travel, and then
allegedly
this has been 20 years ago.
Statute, yeah.
Yeah. Crossing this hill, and then there's this truck backing up all across all lanes of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved old Volvo, no ABS.
Hey, my Jeep.
So yeah, definitely have to go from 80 kilometers an hour to 0 in a hurry.
That's probably...
And getting a speeding ticket on 85 in a rental car 8 years ago during the freak accident with the truck. Listening to Dragon Force Through the Fire and Flames. It's the epitome of speed metal. It's incredible. It's complete nonsense.
I don't like it. I don't like it because it's all speed and no soul.
I think much like me saying I can't listen to Linkin Park after I was 20, I don't think I listen to Dragon Park now that I'm past 30.
Park?
Dragon Park.
Lincoln Force.
Go on.
Wasn't that the Northern Army was the Lincoln Force?
Yes.
Oh boy. Well,
I did see a very confusing van on the way here.
I think it
was Union Pride contractors, but they also had a "Don't Tread on Me" flag on it. It's like
horrible.
I think you meant the county.
I like the picture of the snake, and it says, it has a boot on the top of it. I specifically asked for the opposite of this.
Holy shit, a talking snake. Well, things didn't go well last time we had one of those.
The epitome of a participation trophy is a star and bar, right? Somebody at work had a shirt on that says, "If you think this is racist, you don't know history." I'm like, I was like, look, I don't. Normally, I don't give. If you don't ask my opinion, I'm not going to give it to you. But let me ask you something. Like,
what if you just fall over laughing?
Well, I thought about it, but I was like, why don't people from South Africa fly the flag of apartheid and say, "Oh, it's my heritage"? How come the people of Germany don't fly Nazi flag and say, it's my heritage? How come people in Ukraine don't fly a Soviet Union flag and go, oh, it's my heritage? How come people don't do that, Steve? Why do you think that?
Because they're fucking wrong.
Because they're wrong or we're wrong?
Yes.
It's funny how that works out like that, isn't it? Bye, some viewers, but we can still be friends.
Nah.
What are you looking up, Steve?
Do you wanna?
The flag of South Africa?
Yep.
Is that the apartheid flag? No, that's the regular. That's the regular flag.
At least after 1994, yes.
Well, that's the point. Like, that's the point. Like, you don't fly a flag that, you know what? Never mind. This is supposed to be a fun podcast, not alienating some of our viewers who are in surrounding counties, since this county votes very blue. Bless me. What in the world is that?
The one prior, which is just confused.
That's very weird. Oh, come on. Like, that's not real.
It's Dutch, it's English, it's African, it's
African.
Like, dude, it's a flag with tiny flags inside of it. Like,
yo, dog, heard you like flags, so we put flags in your flags.
True. Like, screw it. Split the differences. Use a Mozambique flag with its awesome AK-47 and sickle and hammer.
Mozambique.
Go on.
Mozambique is
Yonder.
I'm having a hard time finding it right now, even though it's really fucking big map of Africa right in front of me.
Notice self. Mozambique's not Madagascar. Mozambique is not Madagascar. Mozambique is not Madagascar.
Okay, I got you. Well, look, I'm good at geography and shit, but I can't see that tiny. It's very small.
Come on, 1965.
There we go.
Get your shit together.
There we go. Okay. Well, the font's in black and it's on green. It's hard to see. It's not as bright in here as I would like it.
Racist.
Not that kind. Hey, if you're from
enough, Madagascar island, Mozambique coast next to island. Boom.
True. And how come if you're Egyptian, you're not considered African American?
I think that boat sailed a long time ago.
I can't take credit for that. That's a George Carlin. And he's like, if you're from South Africa, are you South African American? But it's a good point. If you're Egyptian, you're African American.
So is that what Elon Musk is now? He'd be South African American?
Yeah, all the people that thought the stocks would tank from Tesla, from him smoking pot and tweeting and all that, it hasn't. Mr. Musk knows what he's doing around a Twitter account, unlike some people. Steve, this trail magic's really good, and I think we need to go back in March. But I want to do the Asheville trip sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
My December is fucked. How about yours?
It might as well be.
Okay.
Yeah, the end of the year's looking itchy. Like, next week's going to be rough.
Yeah.
And then next month, a little bit here, a little bit there, and at least I'll have to work third at the very end of the year. Just have to cover first shift. But I want to get there at 6 in the morning.
Because I got 6 shows in December, and as it stands right now, 5 in January, probably more to come. So I don't mind doing it during the week, but I know your vacation.
That's way more difficult.
Yeah.
Especially considering how hard I'm beating the drum of getting the hell out of where I am.
True. Any new leads?
No.
What about Kirkman's old gig?
Not a peep out of those jerks.
You want me to kill him? All right. Offers on the table. And under it. Fourth per. Man, we got a lot of cool games to play, but I'm just not. I'm not mentally or liverally prepared to play these games. We've only covered really 2 topics. But an hour and 50 minutes worth of shitty 80s music and shitty cars built from striking workers.
Here's a neat trick, folks. There's a lot of them.
Boy, that is true. I told you this one would be really fun. Reminiscing about... do you remember Friday night videos from the 80s? It was on Fox, like at 11 o'clock at night. They would play... It was
but that
Diet
was
MTV.
Like something in the early MTV era. But like... don't remember seeing them on that. No.
It was interesting because they had two comedians. They had Judy Tenuta and then they had Emo Phillips on there hosting.
Hey guys,
Oh my god!
we're gonna show you a music video, but now you first gotta listen to me talk the way that I talk like this. I can say something terrible, but it's funny. No, but
Not a big
I
Emo Phillips fan.
Oh, I like him, but I've never saw the thing, and I don't feel creative enough to try to emulate him in some awesome full fashion because that's what he's a master of.
That was the logo. It couldn't get more 80s than that.
What, the neon?
Yes. Thanks, Dodge. That is bringing back all sorts of memories right now because there was the logo, another logo. It was like a guy tied up with musical notes and.
Oh, like he's got some weird pants on.
It was an absolute just acid trip, like because Judy Tenuta was I think she was a comedian, but then Emo Phillips was too. Emo Phillips is still creepy looking, but let's see.
He looks exactly the way he sounds.
Born in 1956, so he is
62.
February 7th. Some good fucking jokes though. Some really. Wow. He looks exactly like you would.
Dude, that Dorothy Hamilton haircut is still untenable.
It's unelevenable if you've asked for me.
That's the real reason you don't like mushrooms, because of that fucking haircut.
Those kind of mushrooms, yes. Haven't had any of the other kind of mushrooms yet. Would allegedly be interested in trying some of those at some point.
Next trip to California, huh?
Something like that. That or DMT, which sounds really interesting. Have you heard anything about or read anything about DMT?
It's loud enough to knock you down.
Okay.
That's Rogan's drug of choice.
Yeah. That and Terrence McKenna. He had and like what's intriguing about it is so many people have had the same experience on it where they enter something called the dome and there's quote unquote machine elves who are jumping around welcoming you to the dome. And the fact that everybody has that same experience is like everybody says that's the reality and this is the simulation. I'm not equipped emotionally to deal with this sort of information. I don't know about you, but interested in investigating it at some point. The body naturally produces DMT, just not in the
It
quantities.
sounds like it's not making enough.
I would love to. I would be interested in allegedly trying to purvey some of this. You're gonna have to read up on this. It's
You
very.
never got around to replacing the tag in your Jeep, did you?
No.
I've got an idea.
What is it?
Something to turn Machine Elf into an 8-character license plate.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down yet.
Just to advertise that as license plate.
Oh, okay.
It's like MCHNELF or something like that.
Oh boy. Just make everybody scratch their head. Do you try to do that when you look at personalized plates? You're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You usually have half a clue how to interpret them, and then there's some that just really don't make sense.
Which, the movie or the board game?
Yes.
Oh, wrong clue. Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's fantastic.
It's
like one of the original movies that have multiple endings. Apparently, during its theatrical run, they played the different endings in different theaters. So people had no idea what the hell is going on.
That's fantastic.
So with the VHS release, they played a version and then keep the tape going.
Yeah.
And then would play subsequent endings.
That is boss.
Something more easily done on DVD.
Did you see Clue? Yeah. Can you believe Miss Scarlet did it? Miss Scarlet didn't do it.
I'm sorry, Colonel Mustard did what?
I didn't know they did that. That's brilliant and genius. It's brilliant. Jill? What if?
It's kind of on par with what they're doing for the chair game finale, that they're filming multiple endings, and nobody knows which ending's going to end the show.
I felt there needs to be a
Brace yourselves, winter is here.
Pick your own or choose your own adventure trivia, or not trivia. Choose your own adventure. Good grief, game show.
Ooh,
that would be great, and I think we'd be good hosts at it.
I do possess a copy of the Neil Patrick Harris autobiography. That is, Choose Your Own Autobiography.
Okay, I didn't know that existed.
Get the damnedest things for Christmas some years, and I have no idea what the hell the book is post-move.
That and the I Am America and So Can You.
Yep,
is genius.
Yep.
Was that was
Colbert.
John Stewart? Okay, Stewart and Colbert.
That was the Colbert book concurrent with him having the Colbert Report.
That's right. John Stewart's was
the America the book.
Okay,
then they had the annotated teacher's edition. Like, oh shit, I should get this, but I have the non-annotated version on the free instead of spending Ed McKay dollars on even a used copy for $30.
That yawn is sponsored by booze.
I was like, well, they don't release the audiobook form in annotated teacher edition. Otherwise, that would be a lot of extra voices.
Here's a stupid question. So annotated is?
Like, if you've got a passage in the book, like things elaborating on it, extra notes, extra like, little tidbits.
Like an asterisk and then it had something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is really the only way to read Dianetics.
Gotcha.
If like back in the day, prior to Salou being that space, was an urban bookstore, from which I did buy private parts, but did not buy Dianetics, because if ever I needed to buy a copy of Dianetics, it's going to be from the urban bookstore.
Yeah.
But the fact I own Howard Stern's private parts in all its neon green and pink glory from there is a decent silver medal.
I've seen the movie. Have not read the book. I don't read. I don't like reading. And here's the thing too. When I tell people I don't like reading, people who don't like reading are automatically looked down upon like they're not smart. I am pretty smart. I just don't like reading.
You're an American.
True. But
you're dumb.
I don't like reading. I just don't like it. I can't. I'll read like 4 or 5 pages and I don't retain anything. I have no retention. Except about things I like want to read. I think school ruined me because we had to read these horrible ass books about shit I had no interest in reading at all. So that ruined me.
What did the author mean by this passage here?
Ask him.
He's been dead for 200 years.
Let's not worry about that. That's why I majored in math. Numbers don't lie. I have been reading my poker books a lot lately, but we all went to the casino.
Well, apparently they worked.
I love playing cards, and Emily's going to be furious at me if I do this, but I'm genuinely thinking about on Thanksgiving Day driving back up to Cherokee and entering the World Series of Poker Satellite Tournament instead of going to spend time with family during the week during the holidays. She's going to be probably really mad at me, but I really want to go play cards because I felt bad because y'all were waiting on me, and I didn't realize how long y'all were waiting on me, but I was just having a blast. I would have stayed up there for days playing cards. Genuinely thought about just taking a taxi home. Y'all go home. Y'all go back to the cabin. I'll take a taxi back to the cabin.
Where we were, that wouldn't have killed you either.
Yeah, not really.
No,
but I came out ahead.
Minutes.
I came out ahead of that trip.
I think the rest of us subsidize your winnings.
Well, next time we go to the casino, y'all just write the check to me straight, and we don't even have to go to the casino, and then just cut out the middleman.
Yeah. Well, good news, guys. The trip is now half price because AJ is going to win the rest of it.
if hey, you know what? If everybody buys me in for a little bit of chips, I'd be happy to do that.
Interesting. Where's AJ? He's
winning back rent.
He's up.
He's winning back rent. There was one. I think he was Japanese. He had a Japanese. He had a jacket on. He had the Japanese flag on it. That kind of gave it away. He had the mad eyes, not the sad ones. So he was Japanese.
What you should have said was nothing.
He was a calling station, is what we call. So you're familiar with poker, mostly.
Vaguely.
So no matter what you bet, he would call. You bet $2, he called $2. If you bet $50, he would call 50. He would just call you. It didn't matter if he had he was on a draw, he had the nut hand. If he was going to play it out until he hit his hand or didn't.
I had no idea he's a Blondie fan.
That twice I suckered him out of so much money because I'd call a little bit, he'd call, and I keep him in. I had the nuts. Having the nuts is like having the best hand, knowing you're not going to be beat. So I had the nut flush. So I bet $5 he called.
That's a funny phrase.
Next time I bet $10 he called. Next time I bet $40 he called, and I turned it over and he shook his head and threw his cards down. I was like, I did that to him twice, and then he finally cashed out and left. I'm like, you had to. He did that to everybody. He called everybody all the way to the last card. Like you're playing very, very predictable cards. I mean, you're gonna be an easy beat. Like, I mean, I'm fine with it. But if you want to sit there and donate to the cause, I mean, it's fine by me. But, jeez.
So you're saying you were the yang to his yin?
Yes. I'm glad this. Everything that we've talked about today has come all the way back around to talking about it again. I can dig this. Do we have time for one more after this one? Oh, it's 2 hours. We've hit 2 hours already, Steve.
7-ish. Do a speed round.
A speed beer round.
What can we drink?
Death by coconut.
All right.
I think we should do a speed round.
Let's kill a coconut.
All right, we're killing the. This one was really good though, so let's not chug it. Let's just. Man, thank you, Trail Magic. You were delicious. Number 14. I should have bought more bottles.
Nowhere to find more.
Well, I might go back up.
Nothing close by, but
I'm off Friday and Saturday next week. Maybe Sunday. So if I can leave Raleigh Saturday, God, going straight from Raleigh to Cherokee is gonna blow ass.
There was. What was it? It was something a long time ago. Went from like Raleigh to Asheville back to Greensboro one day.
In one day?
Yeah, that was interesting.
I will tell you about.
That was a time during which the second Volkswagen was actually running worth a damn.
That was a very short period of time, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Exactly. It's like to be able to make the car do what it was second best at.
I went when I was not in between jobs, but I had left the store I was at, and then I ended up going back.
In between stores?
Well, I left, and then I decided I was going to try to go back to school, and I went back to the store. It doesn't matter. So I had like a 4-day stretch. So I went from Charlotte to Chapel Hill and made it to Chapel Hill in an hour and 48 minutes, which is fucking booking it. So, and this is in the Maxima. So I topped off at the gas station right beside my apartment at the time, and topped it off, drove straight to Chapel Hill, hung out with my buddy, slept there. Drove from Chapel Hill to Boone, hung out with a buddy of mine in Boone. Cheers. That's so
better.
That's so
Not good, but better.
We will explain this beer shortly. Oh my God, that's good.
Ooh.
Yeah. Went from Chapel Hill to Boone, hung out there for a day, and then went from Boone to Asheville. Bless you. That's the first sneeze in 20 episodes. So from Boone,
sneeze like a hiccup.
From Boone to Asheville, hung out there for a day with a buddy, slept overnight, and then drove from Asheville to Charlotte in one tank in the Maxima, which was boss.
It's a good run.
That was a good run, and that was a very fun. That was a lemon of a vehicle, but when it ran right, that was a very fast, comfortable sedan, like properly. I didn't get much on a trade-in when I traded it for the TSX, but TSX was a better car. I mean, let's be honest. There's the 200th burp on. Steve, what are we drinking now? Web demographic survey just popped up on the screen.
You're getting hacked, aren't you?
I have not looked at very much porn on there, okay? So we should be fine.
Say search, bro. So what we have here is the Death by Coconut Irish Style Porter, brought to you by Oscar Blues.
I got the Oscar Blues. Yeah, it's sideways.
Government warning, blah, 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 blah.
Really good.
There's, no stories behind this except 6.5% ABV.
Nah. Yep, no stories.
It's just good.
It is good. Canned on 8/02/18 at 20:05. Limes sold separately. That's what it says on the bottom. If we do
that, I would have brought some limes because my fridge is full of them.
No way. Toby and I went on a Brevard brew crawl one day in February of 2016. So we stopped at Brevard Brewing, Oscar Blues, and Southern Appalachian. Southern Appalachian has great beer. Oscar Blues, equally
Do you
good.
call that soap with two P's?
That was the trip that necessitated me getting new drum brakes in the back of the Jeep because some twat waffle cut me off and I had to slam on the brakes in the Jeep, and I didn't think anything about it. And then we get to Southern Appalachian, and we go in, have a couple drinks, and we get back out of the Jeep and hit the brakes, hit the clutch, start the car. I'm like, brake feels kind of spongy. It's kind of weird, but keep an eye on it. It's stopping fine. No big deal. We go to Oscar Blues, and then we get back in the car, and then pedals really mushy. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I go to check the brake fluid, and there's none in there. I went, look under the car. It has a mysterious liquid up underneath it. I'm like, motherfucker.
It's kind of red and boiling.
Like, fine. Luckily, Advance Auto Parts a mile down the road. We go there. I get a thing of brake fluid, not knowing the damage yet. Pour the brake fluid in. I'm like, all right, pedal feels come back. Start the car up. Start pumping the pedals. Tubby's like, you need to get out and look up underneath. So it's pissing brake fluid out both drums. Like the lines back there. I'm like, shit. We already had a hotel, so we stayed in a hotel. And you know what's really fun is driving back from Brevard, North Carolina, back to your house in Mint Hill with no brake fluid. That's fun. That's really fun. Luckily, it's a stick, and we took back roads.
Downshift the everything.
Yeah, there we go. I did a lot of engine braking. So I took it to...
Yeah, for those not in the know, this is dropping from an altitude of 2,000 or 3,000 feet to an altitude of 700 feet. And that initial 2 or 3 doesn't automatically start at a drop.
Luckily, the lovely people at Manchester Automotive in Mint Hill, which I would very highly recommend, did the rear... I'll do anything car related that does not involve drum brakes. Don't have a lot of experience with it, so I was like, I need new rear drums, and I called them on a Saturday. He's like, drop it off, put the key under the mat, and we'll have it done by Tuesday. Cool. $350, labor, parts, everything. and they bled the entire system and put brand new fluid and everything in it. So I was like, okay, fine by me. I don't do rear drums. I did the front brake pads, and that was $40. I did it myself. So, have you ever looked at the cutaway diagram of a drum brake?
It's atomically horrible.
Yeah. So, if and when I need the rear end
Which is interesting
upgraded,
to see that was the go-to before disc brakes took hold.
true. It stops just fine because the rear brakes only do 20% of the braking of the car, but still, the Grand Cherokee rear end bolts into the XJ just fine, and it has discs in the back, so that's what I'm going to be doing when I need to upgrade the rear end, which I'm going to need in probably the next 2 years, because they said it's noisy, and I said, is it going to blow up? He goes, no, it's just old. It's going to need to be replaced. That's fair enough, buddy. Fair enough. Shit, what was I going to say? It was very Jeep related, I think. Do you, when you see other Vibe owners, do you give them a wave?
No one could care less.
They don't.
In this car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get the Jeep wave back. Okay, I get the wave back, but I'm surprised that nobody. Well, the thing too is people.
No one else is in a GT.
Okay.
And all these cars look the same.
Yeah, that's true. Well, all the Jeeps look the same, but it's more of a cult.
Rather than never mind the friendly community on FaceBase. Everybody else is in the Midwest.
I didn't, and to be honest with you, until you had one, I had no idea that
there
was Toyota. That A, that it was everywhere, and B, that was Toyota guts.
It was effectively the last breath of Geo.
Yep, had no idea. And I didn't, when I first looked at them, I didn't like them, but it's grown on me. It's a very utilitarian, do-it-all hatchback.
It's such a weird car.
It so fits you.
Yeah, it's like I bought this thing, I wanted a Matrix. Well, I kind of fell into this one. 4.5 years later, I still really like this thing.
Yep. Hey, you saw how good my bumpers and trim look after refinishing them. Bring it on over, and we will do that thing up, and it will look much, much newer. So you just let me know. I'm supposed to be off. Well, you know what?
Next week's
just you know what? Fuck the rest of this month. This is fucking done.
December.
December's better. At least I have days off during the week, whatever that is. You got a valet tomorrow?
No, yeah, tomorrow's not good. Gross. Friday's not good.
Well, tomorrow I'm doing taco. I'm eating tacos tomorrow. I'm eating tacos and then going to the dentist.
Get some Listerine.
That's my favorite Bush song.
Listerine.
Toby hates that fucking song.
I'll have no gingivitis.
Gingivitis.
Listerine.
That's when you don't like redheaded people. You have gingivitis. We need to go buy Oscar Blues. We need to go. You know what? What we'll do on the way to Asheville, which is, we'll swing by Southern Appalachian. We'll go to Brevard Brewing. We'll go to Oscar Blues, and then we'll go up to Asheville. We need to we'll kidnap Brendan because he hasn't been out in a while, and I know he's been missing it. So we're gonna kidnap Brendan. We're gonna go out.
For what it's worth, if ever you're free on Wednesday afternoons, he can at least do a lunch.
Okay. Well, I'm not usually free on Wednesday afternoons, but we got the busiest week of the year coming up for my job.
So definitely not next week.
Next week is, oh boy, I think I'm 6:30 to 4 on Sunday, 8:30 to 6 Monday, 8:30 to 7 Tuesday, 6 to 4:30 Wednesday, and 6:30 to 3 Thursday. But then I'm off Friday, Saturday, probably, but not guaranteed. And they insist on having Thanksgiving in Raleigh at my wife's places the last 2 years, so I haven't been able to make Thanksgiving. So having to skip that out and then go on Black Friday. Got to tell you, though, interstate traffic on Black Friday's not too bad, even though I take 49 to 64 because it's a prettier drive. 85 I could take it or leave it, especially coming out of Concord, 2 lanes. It's kind of shitty.
And half of it's half blocked off. Like, it's road construction. Nobody's working on the road.
No, there's just barrels out everywhere. Did you know what UNCC stands for now? Under new construction constantly. It's
Heard
pretty
that
true.
one, yeah.
Which it's been 14 years since I've been a student.
I think it was something I made up back in the day was University of North Carolina at Concord. Like, it's still Charlotte. It's like, yeah, by 2 miles.
So it's supposed to be the University of Charlotte now. They were going to drop the UN.
Yeah, it's like the athletics program is Charlotte, but the school's still the UNCC.
What in the world is that? All the bars are gone, Steve.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what's going on, Steve. I'm sure it saved it all. But if it didn't...
Well, we had enough banter on here from the get-go.
Well, I think that's it for anyway. So, for episode 20,
Whatevs.
I'm AJ.
I'm Steve.
Steve, we're done. We'll see you in episode 21 in 2 weeks.
Threedles.
Later.